Welcome to the bold analysis. Kindiki has failed to directly implicate former President Uhuru Kenyatta in the reckless sensational talk about the resurgence of Mungiki that was actually alluded to by Rigathi and Ichun'gwa and the likes over the last weekend. And I analyzed here that the Mungiki sensation was a talk that was actually just brought in the fold to try to whip emotions in one of what I can say a continued script of vilifying former President Uhuru Kenyatta. And today, in his second press briefing on accountability at the ministry, I honestly do believe that in William Ruto's cabinet, one of the cabinet secretaries that is really trying to do his best is Kindiki, amidst a myriad of challenges, including the shortage of resources. Chemtai Goin asked Kindiki to explain whether the UDA administration have tangible evidence linking former President Uhuru Kenyatta to the Mungiki resurgence they've been claiming, and number two, the state of investigations on the Northern City raid that happened 2 months ago, and whether those who are held culpable are going to be charged. And his response was very clear.
The former president to crime. I cannot comment on that. But I don't think it is in my space to comment about the former president of Kenya. Yes.
And because we don't have evidence, it is about time we stop that reckless talk, just making those sensational statements that are not backed up with figures and data. I do believe so. Because yesterday in over the weekend in Thika Church, one speaker after the other, including Kindiki, alluded to the fact that some powerful politicians are trying to regroup the cultural extremist group known as that Mungiki in the mountain. And I think we have vilified the young people that went to the DCI headquarters to show solidarity with Maina Njenga for quite so long. It is very shameful and very unbecoming just to vilify people as under the Mungiki sect. You know, the only statement that has been made is when Maina Njenga went to DCI headquarters, the young people, some people were mobilized, and I need to use the right word. Nothing happens out of just coincidence. Young people are mobilized to show solidarity, and it's normally for politics of optics, and they were milling around the DCA headquarters to show solidarity. This phenomenon is not new. Even when Rigathi was arrested sometime during Uhuru Kenyatta's reign, and was arraigned in court, they mobilized people, and some young people were chanting songs praising him. I remember Anne Waiguru during the NYS scandal back then in 2015, when he was being escorted to EACC offices by a contingent of politicians. Some young people were mobilized just to stand and show political solidarity. Just recently, when Matiang'i was summoned in the DCI and he presented himself there, even apart from being escorted by the other senior politicians in Azimio la Umoja, CS Matiang'i was also accompanied there by Azimio supporters. and quite a number of supporters were mobilized and they were milling around it. It is not a new phenomenon that when a politician, and they've got a way of doing it, so they should not be so much skewed to make us think that this is something new. When a politician is arrested, they normally want to take the, show the support that I'm just being vilified. So it is very reckless to clamp all those that were in the DCI headquarters when Mainanjing was arrested as members of Mungiki sect. They were members of the media. There were women there. I've never known, someone should tell me whether women were part of that Mungiki sect. There were women there. There were people who, surely, the same happened in Nakuru. And because we want to sensationalize the whole thing, we should stop vilifying hustlers. I agree with someone who was saying, hustlers are now being called Mungiki because you are standing in the field of hustler. This needs to stop because of these three reasons. And that is my power point on 3. The criminal elements are actually within the power. That's the truth. The criminal groupings and mobilizers are actually within the center of power. Just today, Kindiki himself is confirming that politicians have been funding the members of the public and the people that storm police stations, burn police stations, and even destroy other people's properties. Saying in full glare of the camera that some of the politicians are even in Kenya Kwanza. And if you think I'm just saying it, then you need to listen to this soundbite.
Some of the people, political leaders, who have been funding the violent attacks on property and police officers in Kericho and Bomet are Kenya Kwanza of politicians, and they'll have to be arrested. Once we conclude investigation, we arrest them. So let's not politicize this thing. But I don't think it is in my space to comment about the former president of Kenya.
I do honestly think that what Waziri is saying there, he's saying that we'll apprehend everyone because there are those who are even in Kenya Kwanza that are funny. For example, look at what's happening in Kericho. Something is happening in Kericho that we are not really paying attention into it. After politicians spreading a false hope that they will illegalize mechanizations of tip lacking there was backlash. And of course, the mechanization has always caused perennial job losses. The community has turned against the investors, and politicians, for lack of a better word, has incited the young people, the community, and the community has been banning those machines and attacking police stations, in full glare of the cameras during the day. Then you come in Nairobi and want to shout at the top of your voice telling us about Mungiki. What's happening in Kericho? Something is happening in Kericho that is very dangerous and should not even be condoned. So that is why I believe that talk needs to stop. It's neither here nor there. I don't fancy it. Kindiki is saying those behind it are also in power. Number 2, if those who are fronting this narrative are saying that Uhuru Kenyatta is using these young people to protect himself, now I just want to ask a simple question. Do someone think that Uhuru's life is in danger? Do someone have an imagination that Uhuru's life is in danger? Uhuru have 24-hour clock security and is guaranteed not by personal volition of the sitting president, but provided for in the constitution. And no one can take it away. The process of taking it away is a tall order. It's not there. So and how are these young people going to protect Uhuru? For what? Sometimes you even listen to some things and say, I think leaders are sometimes leaders take us for granted because so why are these people going to protect Uhuru for? What happened at Northern City, it was organized by the politicians. So do you want to tell me that Uhuru is that kind of a leader that fancy violence? I think even if those who are positioning themselves for power, just deliver instead of doing side shows, dragging Uhuru Kenyatta's name here and there, it's not going to help the situation. If the fruit is rotten, it's rotten from the head. It is rotten. There is zero prosecution. I said there are 3 reasons why this talk should stop. Number 1 is because criminal elements are within power. Number 2, Uhuru Kenyatta does not need the said protection these guys are talking about. Number 3, there is zero prosecution of the gang despite of that full state machinery. We are saying about how someone is funding, and even if Uhuru has that kind of money, and let me tell you, I think there is one line, even those who are attacking Uhuru Kenyatta should get another defensive line, should get a different line. The same man was funding as new Mandamanos. Now the same man is funding Kindiki. I'm like, kwani yeye pesa yake ni kufanya tu hiyo, some of these people sometimes I think we lie too much because we believe the public will not question. You have the state machinery. You have the intelligence. If someone is organizing and funding youth, the whole story about funding, you can go to bank and give us bank transactions of money being sent to people X, Y, Z, and you show us in the media, call a press briefing, print those transactions. You have the state machinery to intercept everything and show us the money. But if you don't have that evidence, you cannot prosecute anyone. There is nowhere. Maybe you can tell us that you stormed a forest where some people are being indoctrinated about the Mungiki cultural extremism. It simply doesn't make a lot of sense. And this country should not be distracted. We should be allowed to focus on the real issues. And that is whether the plan can be implemented. And because Waziri cannot show us evidence that Uhuru Kenyatta is implicated in it, I think it's time to stop that reckless talk. It's inconsequential as we speak. Welcome guys to the bold. So my name is Kevin, as you know. I'm in Donholm in a place hotel the Onk Cuisine. So the Onk Cuisine is a hotel that is owned by one of our members of this channel here, and I'm here to promote, very interesting. So I need to take time to sample for you what's around. This is fish, fresh tilapia from the lake. This one goes at 450. Then on this is half of this, goes at 250. So it's the same. Then this is one of the best. It's called Athola. This is Athola. Athola is nyama ambayo imechomwa, alafu ikishachomwa inakuwa boiled. So it's a bit of an amazing one. For those people who know Athola, you need to come here and sample. The other end is Mota. Now, this one ought to be hapa mbele yangu because this is my best, and kwa hii meza yote yangu ni hii Mota. For those people who know Mota is hii ainanga mfupa, by the way. You will really struggle to get mfupa around this place. So what am I saying? You need to come here and promote this lady. She's doing amazing food here, and you don't need to worry because I'm going to pin her number so that if you're within Nairobi, so long as you're within Nairobi and you feel like you want to, what's an amazing place, make sure you contact her and she's going to deliver to you, of course at a fee. So that you make sure that you do an amazing. So guys, I want to see how we can support those who are members of the board and you are in Donholm and Umoja and its environs. Make sure you come here. Kayole, yes. Make sure you come here and promote this business. But now Mimi, I think maybe 2 minutes.
I have not finished.
There is pork.
Two.
So if I
Una
go to
chai,
pork, I
mama.
have to go to this
Oh, you can ignore it.
I can ignore pork.
Yeah.
Sawa. Mtu anataka pork bwana. Pork si anunue kwa butcher.
Eh.